Hello, football family. Welcome into Huddle It Up Films, episode 9. Still counting on our fingers, fellas. 9. Here we're live on a Wednesday night, 8:30. Big show to go over. We have some Bills game stuff to go over. We got a new signing. We got Hendo from the Ravens Gatekeepers coming up later in the show. We have a film review of Justin Madubuike and Brandon Stevens, both who had very good games. And, of course, a Bengals preview. So we thank you all for joining us once again on this Wednesday night. Garnett, a wise man once said, I'm fine with my 9. We're kind of fine with our episode 9 here. And fine to me kind of describes where the Ravens are. Like, not great, not doing great, not doing terrible, doing pretty fine. How are you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing good, man. And, this is a beautiful week going by pretty fast, man. I can't complain. Thursday's tomorrow, Friday, and then, for me, Monday, Columbus Day, so I'm off. So I can't complain, man. I'm already trying to have a blueprint of how I want to lay it out, where I want to be, or how I want to travel and do whatever. But I can't complain about nothing. Yeah, I'm already over, the situation, as I'm going to call it. But at the same time, we can talk about. I'm always, I never get emotional over games like I used to back in the day. Last time I got emotional over a game is when the AFC Championship game against the Steelers in 2008, and ever since then I've been a broken man. So that's how I am. But other than that, I'm doing fine, man.
That surprises me, Garnett, because my breaking point was 2 years after that. That was the last time I got really mad. It was where we're up 2 touchdowns against the Steelers. I want to say it was the divisional playoffs and not the conference championship. Yeah, okay. And Antonio Brown, a guy who nobody had ever heard of, he was buried on their depth chart behind probably Plaxico Burress and Hines Ward and whoever else was over there. That game, I was really, really upset. I'm like, you know what? Can't do it. Just football. So Garnett, our co-host, Ashley Priyanka, she's got a tough situation. Ashley, I know that you watch. Hopefully we can get you in the comments and everything. We are missing you. She's going to have to miss some time due to the hurricane. So I figured there's only one way to replace our girl AP. That's to bring in another AP. Mr. Alec Polianis at One Winning Pod down there. Alec, how you doing, sir?
Doing well, man. It's a great day to be great.
Great day to be great. Very great. I love it. So, hey, let's start with a new signing. Breaking news coming on just before we came in. New Raven released by the Arizona Cardinals yesterday, I believe it was, or day before yesterday. No room for him when with DeAndre Hopkins coming back. They, of course, have Hollywood Brown. They have Rondale Moore. Greg Dortch has come on and made himself in some fantasy lineups recently. Andy Isabella, the odd man out, 5'9", former track star, speedster, ran a 4.31. What are your thoughts on this? Mr. Alec, why don't you go to it? Because I heard a little bit from Garnett. Andy Isabella, what is he? Who is he going to do? What kind of impact? Is it big nothing? What do you think about him?
It's a big something. I called it yesterday. The second he was cut, I was like, this is exactly the kind of people the Ravens will want to pick up. And the reason I say that is because what did Andy Isabella do against us in the preseason? He had a little bit of success. What do we like to do? Sign anyone who has success against us. That's like our shtick. That's how we got Robinson. That's how we got, what was his name? Robert? What was it? Seth Roberts? Right. If you burn us once and you become a free agent, you will not burn us twice. You'll be on our team. And, he's 5'9". He's light. He's basically a Marquise Brown light. He's not going to, I anticipate using him similarly to that with less result. Because he's not as good, right? That's kind of my anticipation.
So what do you mean, though, Alec? I'm going to follow up with you before I get to Garnett. You envision using him like Hollywood? Like, what kind of role are we looking for on the team? Is he going to be active?
Oh, I mean, he's not going to see the field. I'm saying, like, if he did see the field, those are the kind of routes he would run, I think. I think he'd, be on the outside, going vertical, using that speed. I don't think he's a good enough route runner. That's my, knock on him to compensate for his lack of size. He has to create separation because he's too tiny to make it himself. You know what I mean? Like, just through like arm length or things like that. So he has to have like precision route running. And it's been a while since I looked at his profile coming out of college, but I feel like that was what I remember about him is that like the route running wasn't there. He was like, I can go real fast in a straight line, which is not particularly useful at the NFL level.
Yeah, Garnett. I was telling you before the show, people typecast him for whatever reason, maybe because he looks more like me than he does most wide receivers in the National Football League. But 5'9", 4'3", that sounds like me, bro. Sounds like me. But he's not a Julian Edelman. He's not a Wes Welker. And I think that's where he got typecast wrong in the draft, Garnett. I agree with Alec. His route running was poor. He was just blowing by people at UMass, former track star, tighten the hips and all that. He's an outside receiver to me, Garnett.
Yeah, man. So see, just to show my age a little bit, I know I ain't Arctic old as you, Jason, but literally, he's like Tim Dwight. I don't know if some of you guys might not remember Tim Dwight from back in the day, the Atlanta Falcons era. He played a little bit with the Chargers, but small white dude that was just fast as hell, like just stupid fast, man. But I do think we found a new speed sweep contestant. Watch out, Duvernay. Isabella's coming.
Yeah, odds that his first touch is a jet sweep, Garnett.
I think if he's on the active roster, hope to God, knock on wood, Bateman is healthy, and if he is, he's not. Hopefully, he's not going to be there. But if he is, I would literally put probably if there was a money line on it, I would put a nice handsome $120 or something, or $150 on it. I would. That's me. It would be a jet sweep. So get him acclimated with Baltimore, with the game,
So, do you think he's going to be active on game day if Bateman's out? I mean, is it going to be him active, or is it going to be Prochet active? What kind of receiver will they look for that last spot?
So it just comes down to, I think, you still got Robinson, who's a nice, route runner himself. I still believe he's a nice route runner, just because he ain't really even getting the volume or targets. So you still got him at the, that can play X or Z. He can really play anywhere else, but obviously he can be at the X. But when it comes to the Z, probably, Duvernay is going to be at the Z, or you're probably going to be moved to the Z or to the slot. So I don't know, man. It's really hard because, like how you describe Isabella, he's not really a route runner. Probably going to be playing, the Z route, the Z roll a lot, So it is, I don't know. It's really hard to see where he would be at in this offense, I should say, sometimes. But we have an obvious idea,
Yeah. So for those who were wondering, Garnett's talking about that X receiver. That X receiver is the one lined up on the line of scrimmage who can get off a press like Rashad Bateman. That was one of our questions we did at pre-season shows, fellas. Like, who else could get off the line of scrimmage and play that spot? They didn't even like putting Hollywood over there a lot because that wasn't his strength. So, Alec, you say you can add one more receiver. Who's your fourth receiver active if Bateman's out? Is it Prochet or is it Isabella? Because Tylan Wallace is going to be there due to his special teams.
Oh, for me, it's Prochet, right? Like, we saw him perform in the X last year, and I think he can do that. I think he's able to get off the line, get off the press coverage, and definitely would rather have him out there than Isabella, personally. Because, I mean, what you said, Garnett, is true, right? If Duvernay went down, I could see using Isabella more because the jet sweeps, the distance of that. But at this point, Duvernay, I think, would be the better option there. Don't think Isabella is going to be contributing to special teams at this point. So give me Prochet and let's unlock the young man.
You know how I feel.
I know.
Give Prochet a chance. I've been screaming for it. Every time you throw the ball, he catches it 80% of the time. So let's get to our comments. Now, Alec, I want to say, too, before we get to Baltimore Don C, I don't know how much you know about Baltimore Don C, one of the anchors of the show. At Jason, Garnett, and Ashley, I am working, but we'll have you guys on. I will try to pop into the chat if I have a chance. Have a great stream, my football fam. See, Don C's even got the football family in there. Hopefully, Don C will be in the chat, and hopefully the rest of you guys and gals watching can help pick up the chat. Right now, you can see only 8 viewers, man. Only 8 viewers. People, Garnett, they tend to get down on their Ravens, man. The videos go down. So I really appreciate the fans that stick by and they want to hear us talk football, even when we're coming off a disappointing loss, G.
Yeah, it's our job to really try to get the crowd back into the rhythm or just boost up morale. we're the spirit of the Corps, as they would say, where I came from, the Marine Corps. Like, we have to be that guys we have to be those people to bring the juice back to when things seem down. But speaking of juice, I ain't trying to go off topic, but did you saw what happened? Well, I guess the reporter stepped to Juice Man in the locker room. He's like, "I'm not having it today. I got nothing for y'all."
Yeah, there you go. Transition. Marcus Peters. Marcus
really?
didn't want to talk to reporters today. He just basically said, "Not today, y'all." Or I don't forget the quote, Garnett, but it was just like, "Nope."
He said, "No." He basically said, "I got nothing for you guys today." And then I was just joking around with Jeff Z, like, "Hey, so did you even ask him? Hey, how was your day?" He's like, "Yeah, Marcus doesn't seem like a short answer guy, so I didn't do it."
Yeah, sometimes it's best, Alec, just to not say anything. He don't want to deal with them, quote unquote, those reporters today. It's just not in the mood.
Man, I don't mess with football players. That seems like a bad idea.
Yeah. Hey, it's our buddy Eli saying, "Yo, what's up, Eli? Thank you." And Eli's a Titans fan. He wanted Andy Isabella so bad, and I could see him fitting on there. They have Traylon Burks right now is hurt. Robert Woods has been in and out, underachieving. I could see the Titans, getting a new weapon. So Eli a little disappointed. Michael Dean, Mr. 86, still roster building at Game 5. Unbelievable. Yeah, man. All right, my main problem, I would say roster building wise, Alec, let me get your take on this first. Is it edge? Like, I want to say to Michael, all right, you're building the roster throughout the season. You know what I mean? You're losing guys, more guys are coming on. But I think Michael has some serious points to this. Like, where we are with Justin Houston's injury and where we were on Sunday, another pass rusher could have really came in handy. And we went in this season on the opening roster. We only had Houston and Owe, only two outside linebackers. So I think that's a miscalculation on the Ravens staff, on EDC, on Harbaugh, to not have more reinforcements there at the outside linebacker spot.
Oh, I mean, for sure. I think they had a hard time adjusting, right? The roster did not look like that at the beginning of training camp. We had unfortunate, injuries, deaths. I mean, it was just, I think it's a very difficult hand that they did not anticipate. And I don't know if, I guess they didn't feel like anything out in the market was adequate to bring in earlier, which I know is a little bit counterintuitive considering JPP was available the whole time. You could have had him in the fold sooner, but as far as the other guys go, they were all people who got cut from other practice squads and stuff. So I can understand at that time, like the pool being much more limited, and they were like, well, I guess we just have to wait until the practice squads get smaller, or the rosters get smaller.
Garnett, I was still surprised. We tried to sign Zadarius Smith, right? Like, we went after a big free agent signing, and when that fell through, G, I'm like, all right, well, we're going to sign somebody there, and we never did. And now look how hurting we are. We're playing guys like Calais Campbell on the edge. That's really not what you want. We want them speed rushers from the outside to be able to complement the inside push. So yeah, Ravens fans 86. I'm agreeing with him, man, on Michael here, that the roster building, having like 20 billion inside linebackers, no outside linebackers, it bugs me, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we talked about this so many times where it literally just hopefully it gets home to a lot of people. And it's like, we had a lot of draft picks. I think we sat in a couple draft shows together, or we seen, and we all felt certain ways about certain picks, obviously. But every pick that we got was a good pick, but I felt like, I still do to this day, I felt like maybe sacrifices could have been made in order to go back into that, mid-second round or third round and go get a Monty Sanders or whoever that was available at that time. So, Ravens, like, here's my thing. Like, it's almost like the way how we neglected tackles went to the edge rushers. Like, it literally just is, all right, we're going to do this, but we're going to take a hit at this position. So I don't know. And then also with the whole, what's his name? Ojabo, like, I get it, but at the same time, we could have went another route with that as well. So knowing the situation where we were at, getting somebody that's already damaged, when we already have a damaged core already, it's a head scratcher. It's simple as
Right.
that.
Yeah, and if last year or the last 2 years are any indication, next year we'll have like 20 edge rushers to solve the problem,
Oh,
just
yeah.
like tackle was. It's just like whatever our problem is, we try to overkill it the next year instead of being proactive. So I want to see some improvement from the front office in this aspect. Let's not have what I call coaches' arrogance or GM's arrogance, where you figure you can make anything work. Let's plan the entire roster to be a complete roster. One of our MVPs, G, Baltimore Raven. Sup, peeps? And Baltimore Raven is feeling like I am, man. We're sitting at 500. The season not over. 13 games to go. I always say, Garnett, I'm famous for it. Don't ask me if we're a contender yet or if we're not a contender or whatever until like mid-November, early November or something like that, because things happen so fast in the NFL. So I'm totally with Baltimore Raven. Nothing's been ruined. Nothing's been taken away from us. We have all the potential still to win this division and make a run in the AFC.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Like, heck, to be honest with you, I hate when people ask me for score predictions. I'm like, hey, I don't really do score predictions. I really go off a first series of plays of the first drives, and I can really somewhat get an idea of the type of energy that we're exuding out there. And I'm like, okay, I could see where this game could probably go now, but yeah, like it's too early to see where there's a lot. I think a lot of people just see a lot of potential and they're just frustrated. Like, we were self-proclaimed one of the best, should be the best secondary in the NFL, have like these monsters and Travis Jones and all these pieces galore in the middle. So I understand, because I had high hopes for this defense, we all know. And here we are sitting at 31st, and past defense. So there's multiple ways, but we're number one in turnovers, right? Am I wrong?
We are.
Yep.
We're creating turnovers, which is a good thing.
Like my boy AP said, I'm fine with giving up yards if we're recouping. Right? Ain't that right, AP?
So,
Awesome.
Alec, can you speak to the defense in particular? I think everybody's pretty much on the same page with offense. It's a good offense. This, and this happens. But defense, like Arnett said, we got Marlon's playing great. Marcus Peters is playing well. Marcus Williams playing great. It feels like, and we're getting, feels like Baltimore Raven, where is it? We need a pass rush badly. We get some kind of manufactured pass rush. Like, this should be a decent defense, enough to allow Lamar Jackson and company to win. What's your confidence level of getting this thing fixed? And where is this going to be season-long problem?
My confidence level that I'll get fixed is extremely high, actually. I think I'd argue it's not nearly as bad as people think it is. And that's my hunch. In the games that we've lost, obviously, I think the Dolphins game is like a basically an anomaly. We can learn from it, absolutely, but I don't weigh that one too much. And I think we've seen the defense batten down the hatches against these teams, figuring it out. And yeah, they gave up 17 unanswered in the previous game, but I think that's because the offense didn't score. That's how the unanswered part happened, right? And given the offense we were playing, I think they played quite well. When we look at the things that are deficient, we're looking at the pass rush. I think Tyus Bowser is going to be a big help. I think he's coming soon, right? I think that we have a chance of getting Ojabo in some capacity. I think we have Mac. I think that it'd be useful to see him play some snaps. Interior. Travis Jones gets more experience. I mean, I think there are pieces there that can get more rush. I also think that we saw a decent amount of corner blitzes having success. You have to use them sparingly. You have to be careful about that. But I think that we can be creative enough and get the pass rushers going. I think, again, like if you look at the Bills game, it's so tough because we were playing Lamar Jackson light in a way. I mean, he was just killing us the way Lamar does. So many other teams getting out of the pressure like it was coming. He would get out or he would get the ball out fast. He has good awareness. And that's just tough. Like against the best quarterbacks in the league, pass rush can get, counteracted pretty well, in my opinion. So it's just tough. I think the secondary is excellent is what I'm getting at though. The secondary is excellent. So if we can figure out a way to amp up the pressure from the front four and also keep those middle passing lanes clean, either by using more safeties down there or the linebackers stepping up their game, I think the defense will be exceptional.
All right,
I
so
don't think we need the best pass rush given the other pieces we have.
All right, Garnett. Look, we have another more Indy Isabella question here, and Prochet. Alex's guy, hopefully our guy, K-Fish, bro. Check him out, Alex.
I know he's here.
Yeah,
and Chris is
Prochet.
out there. It's good stuff.
That's good stuff. Yeah, we got Chris out there too. Last week's usage for Prochet calls a concern, bringing in another receiver, even if they are different types. So K-Fish sounding like he thinks Andy Isabella could threaten like Prochet's role as that last receiver. King Tay, how you feeling about Andy? We talked about it a little bit. Basically, what I think is he's going to have a hard time making it over Prochet. Tylan Wallace is going to be active, King Tay, because of special team. We know this, if you know anything about hardball. So Tylan Wallace in as your gunner and Key's core special teams player. So it's going to be between Prochet, Isabella. Prochet, more of a slot receiver, can play off the line. Andy Isabella, a pure speedster. So two different types of receivers there. I'm feeling Prochet. Garnett, how about you? Prochet active at least to start, right? Over Isabella.
Yeah, start, but there's been so many times where we've seen Prochet, like we'll sign somebody and like there's no way it's gonna be over Prochet, and then voila, Prochet's not active or healthy scratch or whatever. So I'm gonna do this. I think Andy Isabella is gonna start over Prochet.
Okay, Alec. Probably not this week. What do you call him? 4 weeks from now, bro. 4 weeks from now. Let's give Andy Isabella time to get on the team and practice and all. Who's active?
I think it's still Prochet if he's healthy.
So there you go, King Tay. Little mix of here, man. Little mixed bag. Chris Rayborg, also from One Winning Pod. Check out Chris, man. In the background, in the wilderness with the city behind him. Chris, you're looking fly. Is that a backpack action? Man, Chris, looking like a man of nature. Yeah, we ain't gonna talk about that pass rush anymore. Also, show favorite, Black Daniels. Peace, family. Checking and listening offline. Keep the great content coming. Man, thank you for everything, Black Daniels. Always love the humor that Black Daniels, one of the best sense of humor. And then this isn't a bad idea for Baltimore Raven. We're not going to go around on it. Victor up from the practice squad. That is a guy that can play that X. If you want a bigger receiver, a more Bateman-like receiver, which neither Prochet or Isabella, size-wise is, you could bring up a big receiver like Victor and see how that is going. So let's talk about the decision really quick. Alec, we're going to tighten things up here, all right, because we got film study coming up. The decision to go kick the field goal on 4th down, which would have put the Ravens up by 3. Ravens declined. They went for 7. Lamar throws an interception. Bills kick game-winning field goal. Game over. Were you a take the points guy, or were you I agreed with Harbaugh and I wanted to go for it guy?
You asking me first, Jason?
Yep.
I'm just laughing because Garnett's losing his mind over there. We had a good chat about it earlier today.
Oh boy.
So Garnett shared on Twitter the tweet about it was what Coach DC was saying about it. He thought we should have kicked the field goal, and he was joking that the person on the other side of who's like, we can't stop him. Then you're going to go for 2. The national progression is going for 2. And I'll be honest with you, I was sitting up there watching it, and I was like, so after we get this, should we go for 2 or not? So that's me. Like, I would have said no. I would say no. I do not want to go for 2 there. I will let them make that decision on the other side if they make it over there. But I would gladly have gone for it, and I'd go for it every single time, even if we never execute. Like, to me, that is the best. That is the best way for your team to succeed in that situation. And if you're not converting, like, that's on you. But like that, I think that's the best path for a team to go ahead and win. And I think the biggest thing that was missing from this whole conversation, and we never got to see the timeline, so we'll never get to know, is I'm pretty sure everyone on that sideline was not thinking about an interception in the end zone going to the 20. They were thinking the defense will have it at the 2. And that was the miscalculation. This was the weird scenario that no one saw coming that made this so much more controversial. If you haven't backed up at the 2, man, I think it's a very, very, very different situation than the 20. And that was what was missed in the calculation.
All right. Well, it's said enough, bro. I told you we got to tighten this thing up. Garnett, go for 3. Would you go on for it? How do you feel? How'd you feel then?
Go for 3 then and go for 3 now. like I get in there with Coach DC. He said, but basically, I think what I was thinking the same way. It's like, hey, well, if people were gonna say, well, if you go for it, if you don't, well, if we couldn't stop them, well, okay, shit. If you already, my bad, excuse me, if you already felt like that from the get go, what's the difference between us either getting 7, because they're gonna probably go and get 7 too, with the philosophy that you're thinking. Might as well just get your 3, and obviously, just anything could happen. Anything really could happen, man. So, and also, is this almost it's a pressurized situation. I feel as a coordinator or a quarterback, if my defense just got a terrific stop, and I got nothing but time on my hands, right? I can move at my pace. Like literally, it's a tie game. Like, I can do whatever I want. But if I'm going to use a person that has 3 points on me, now it's like, okay, it's not really big, but now I'm thinking it's bigger than what it is. You know what I mean? So it's like we've seen people be in that situation multiple times. A lot of teams, or just teams or whatever. So I'm saying just go for 3, get your 3 points. You got an automatic kicker that can do it. Probably instead of Marcus Peters getting mad at John, he'll probably hug him, say thank you, or probably not even gonna do that because Marcus Peters probably just give him a head nod because that's how it really is. Probably give him a head nod and then just say, hey, good job, dude. You looked out for us and watch us. We'll take care of you on the back end. Literally, secondary. We'll take care of you on the back end.
So that's my thing, man. I don't like when people say, well, he didn't have confidence in the defense. Well, it's the same thing as if they would have kicked it, they wouldn't have had confidence in Lamar of making it. So you're always going to have one side of the ball. It's just like, okay, you're putting it in this side of the ball's hands instead of putting it in the other side of the ball, offense hand, defense hand. So at the time, I felt like we were going to kick it. I really did. I thought, because I'm looking at the score, the Buffalo Bills had only scored 20 points all day. It wasn't a move up and down the field type situation. Last year against Pittsburgh and Aaron Rodgers, especially the Green Bay game, I was a go for 2 guy because I didn't feel like we could stop the Packers with whoever we were playing at defensive back at that time. I'm like, I'd rather trust, us to get 2 yards here, to win this game. I didn't feel like that Sunday. I felt like, look, take the points. The defense is doing okay. Worst case scenario, they tighten up. They hold them to a field goal. We go to overtime. Just take the points. You don't want to lose a game like this at home and put it, go for broke. But looking back on it, guys, very quickly, Buffalo did end up marching down the field. So if I would have kicked my little field goal, they would probably march in the field. And the way they were, they, gave themselves up at the 1 yard line. They could have scored and beat us. And I would have looked like a dummy for taking the point. So, spilt milk for me, it's a game to game situation, but I was curious to see, how you guys felt about that. Yeah. Big trust, Baltimore Raven trusted Lamar more than he trusted the defense. Exactly. It's always, you're going to put the game in one guy's hand or one side of the ball's hand or the other. Chris, first half, sure. Second half, I don't think they had trouble moving the ball up and down the field. So, yeah, you're right, Chris. They were the defense was tighter in the first half, but than the second half. So, good point on that side, man. It's just a feel thing. So, guys, we are already at film study time here, coming up on 9 p.m. We had a double film study for us for the people tonight. I want to also tell people, make sure you subscribe, like. Let's try to get the likes up. Not sure where they are, but let's get them up. And don't forget to turn on your notifications. Videos coming out. Channel's been a little slow on the traffic this week, so I'm looking for these Ravens fans to come up, show your support for the channel. We appreciate it. We're going to look at Justin Madubuike first, and then Brandon Stevens. Madubuike, really good game. Made my notes 6 times. Brandon Stevens made my notes in a positive way. I meant 5 times. So we have 11 plays to look at. You see Madubuike here, and the first thing is his anchor. Now, this is something that kept him off the field a little bit this year. You see him anchor right there and not get moved, and allow the others to make a play. Something that Madubuike wasn't known for, struggled with a little bit. I think it kept him off the field a little bit. If he can anchor like this versus the run and allow his linebackers to clean up, that's really going to help him stay on the field, Garnett.
It is, man. As much as there's a lot of positives in this game and all those things, but like literally, that's the biggest thing for me, for him to be a consistent 3-down type of player and not just be a pass rush specialist or whatever. He needs to be able to do what we're watching right now consistently. He does that, man. He might, I don't know what the sack number is probably going to be or anything, but I just thought he'll be a solid player for years to come.
Also, nice job by here. If you look at Bynes and you look at Broderick Washington, the other defensive lineman, they're going to play peekaboo with, I guess that's Zach Moss. I can't tell if it's Zach Moss or Singletary. Zach Moss, it looks like. Playing peekaboo in the hole, number 20. Yeah, so if you look at Broderick Washington next to Madubuike's right, number 96, they're going to just chase the running back to where he has no time to go, nowhere to go. All right, so Anchor definitely improved. Great thing. You see him try to corkscrew right there. His heel into the ground, his toe into the ground, rather, and flying off two guys here. So leverage, push, and finish. These are the things we know Madubuike for. Watch him dominate the right guard. His name's Bates. Bates had a tough day against Madubuike. Peter's going to come out of your screen, come in on this play too. Just gets 2 yards of penetration, the leverage, the push, and then he's in there. You can barely see him in there on the tackle. Alec, these are the things that we know Madubuike for right here.
Oh man, it's so nice to see. You see him eating up those two guys on the play before, and on this one, just one guy, and he's like, "You're gonna go backwards." It's a beautiful thing, man. I mean, he's doing what we were all hoping for, and making really big impact plays.
Leverage just keeps coming up with this guy. It's just ridiculous the amount of leverage and push he can get up under you, bro. Powerful and move some really big guys.
Yeah, man. They always say low man wins, but this dude is always low. So he always does this, man. Bull rush, just dominates, man. That's like I said. There's a lot of positives in his game, and this is one of the forefronts of his game, in my opinion. And then obviously we move on to the next one where he got his hands up. I feel like I'm going to stay away from the Aaron Donald thing, but it's just the fact that I feel like he's so much of a cheat code, and he's only getting better and better, man. Like, that's what I love about Madubuike. He has all the tools to be special. When he was coming out of college, out of Texas A&M, or I think it's Texas A&M. It is Texas A&M. He was coming out. They had a comp of him with the guy from the Bengals. He was the defensive tackle there that came out of Georgia.
Geno Atkins.
Geno Atkins, right? Yeah. Literally, you can see it, just the burst, strength, everything. It's coming along pretty good. We just need him to get sacks like Geno.
That's right. But yeah, on this play, I love how he baits at Josh Allen too. He's not sticking his hand up right away. It's almost like, I see you. All right, bam. Like the timing, the awareness, eyes are always good. And of course, that could have been a huge play for the Ravens defense. Quickness and finish on this one, Alec. Can't touch him. Left tackle cannot touch him, cannot reach him. And not just the quickness, but the finish, to be able to finish the running back. You can see the running back cut a little bit. Madubuike doesn't lose himself and is able to finish that play off, Alec.
Oh, yeah. He has a good way of making sure he doesn't overrun the play. And that was beautiful. That's such a hard combination, right? He can blow past you if you don't line up well. And if you are lined up on him, he'll just out leverage you and push through you. I mean, he has the makings of a dominant player. And, obviously you don't want to compare him to a Hall of Famer, or like make that the bar that he has to reach. But if you put those pieces together, that's what makes a Hall of Famer. So, if he keeps improving, man, like, who knows?
He wins so easily when it happens. And this is the type of run schemes, these outside zones that the Browns run a lot. We see these from a lot of different teams in the division. Being able to split defenders like that, just a unique, special skill. So, G, we'll get you to comment on the next one here. Let's see what we have coming up. Push, awareness. Again, look at that push.
Beep, 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 beep. That's all you hear. It had that man in reverse. Like, it's there, man. Like I said, he's a grown freaking man. I know I'm not allowed to curse on here, so I'm trying my best. Like, he's literally gonna dominate you. If you ain't superior, you will be the inferior really, really quick when he does that to you. Because it's just his first step is so dang fast, man. And like, he's being the perfect height to me for defensive tackles or three techs. It's like that 6'2.5" to 6'3", because you're just tall enough to either get your hands up to make a play on the ball, and you're just short enough to get under these big 6'5", 6'6" guards or guys. You're winning if you got that first fast step, because you can get inside and just do what he's doing completely. It don't matter what the hell you can do, man. You're gonna be dominated like that over and
Right.
over.
You can't really tell if he affects the throw or not. He may have affected the throw with his arm, but just if you're Josh Allen, you look to that side and all of a sudden you see 92, you see your guy getting dominated. It's got to mess with your clock. So whether his hand had something to do with the throw being off, whether he got a piece of it or not, Josh Allen looks, and it's going to make him hurry to get away. The Ravens had a blitz going there, and still Madubuike was the first one in. So push it, eyes through the defender. Alec, this is something that I love. It's something that I look for in prospects. He's working against 71, but he's not looking at 71. He's looking at the quarterback. He does not have to stare his guy down. Players that lack instincts, you see them. They're concentrating so hard on their assignment that they're not seeing where the ball is. Madubuike here, he's feeling it. His eyes are on Josh Allen, alters that throw. Not that it would have been a big play for the Bills. It's just a great play by Madubuike individually here on this play.
Oh, for sure. And it's a natural thing for him. That's the nice thing. Like you said, he has he's comfortable enough with his assignment that he's able to disrupt these passing lanes. I mean, on the last play, in my opinion, the reason that play, if he holds on the ball for a second longer, he's done for. That push was coming. And that's what I was kind of getting at with the pass rush. It's like, okay, well, maybe you don't win with a natural hurry or you don't win with a sack, but if they hold on to the ball a second longer, all those things would have happened and they missed the throw anyways. So does that count? If you have a little bit of foresight, I think that's what makes the pass rush really hard to grade sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, Josh Allen's patting the ball here. You see it, Garnett. He wants to throw it. He has to pat it. Watch Josh Allen alone here on this. I want to throw it. Nope. Got to pat it.
Yeah.
And of course the throw is off. Who knows? Like I said, it's probably not a big play either way, but just a great individual effort by Madubuike. So the last play I got, guys, is my favorite kind of play, and that's a hustle play. It's going to come up here. He actually puts a lick on Josh Allen, and you'll be able to see his eyes on this play too, guys. So this play is going to go through twice fast motion. I didn't slow it down. This is regular motion. See his eyes on Allen. He's working against three different guys. He disappears from the screen, and bam, he's going to lay a lick on the quarterback. Again, nice play by Josh Allen, but Allen's got to get down in this situation. You see Madubuike never give up. He's not standing around. And Allen, hesitation, he makes him pay. You get a lot of hustle plays from Madubuike, Garnett, a lot of plays on screen passes, stuff like that. G, you noticed that in this game?
Yeah, I did, man, and especially with this type of play, it was a stunt, obviously, that didn't get home or whatever. But the fact that literally he didn't quit, comes around, boom. Obviously Jack Allen, he gave himself up on that play, but at the end of the day, the hustle, it was there. It was there.
Nice. Hey, Mr. Yuri checking in.
I know.
I'm late. I had a date. Man, Yuri, I hope your date went well there, sir. I want to say something else, but I won't.
I mean, if you're late, it went well. So we're
yeah,
good.
Brain over Braun. Away. He goes from doing absolutely nothing to almost. He's like the king of almost right now. It is hurting us. We need a way to cash in on some of these plays. He leads the league with 15 quarterback hurries. Adafio Way. So it's not that he's not doing something, but he's just not doing enough. Is kind of how I see it. Garnett, you want to go in on?
I was gonna say I was actually, you were showing there was a Madubuike film session we're watching, right? So I would say 2 plays ago, he gets blocked by Stephon Diggs, blocked. Stephon Diggs is controlling him, blocked. I don't know if you saw that. And it literally, if that was to have been any other pastime Raven, Stephon Diggs would have been his butt would have been on the ground. He would have been. I got a free shot at a receiver. You know what I mean? It's it just bothers me. But I'm gonna try to stay positive on Madubuike. So yeah,
that's all right. Hey, Madubuike himself, very good player, man. Very good player. We're gonna need more of them because we're not very, very explosive on that defensive line. I mean, Washington isn't explosive. Campbell isn't explosive. JPP, I mean, he didn't look tremendously explosive to me either. Bunch of big, strong guys, you know what I mean? Dependable guys. It's going to be on Madubuike and Oweh to really get things going here. Yeah. So number 2 on our list here in the film study, we're also going to take a look at Brandon Stevens, who had a good game on Sunday against the Bills, and something that the Ravens desperately need. Alec, Brandon Stevens with Marcus Peters playing well, Marlon Humphrey playing really well, Marcus Williams. That third cornerback role is up for grabs. If Brandon Stevens plays well, that bodes very well for the secondary, for the cornerbacks, as Kyle Hamilton and everyone gets acclimated together there.
Oh, for sure. I mean, he played 89% of snaps this game, was trusted with the role. No other cornerback played defensive snaps, which I was actually kind of stunned by. Armour Davis was inactive. Pepe was limited to special teams. I mean, it was a full show of confidence for Stevens, and I think his film reflects why.
So Garnett, I've been kind of tough on Stevens about being a slot corner because he's not quick enough, not this, not that, more of an outside corner. But he did acclimate himself very well. I mean, on this play you're about to see, he's matched up against Isaiah Mckenzie, very shifty, very quick slot receiver. Brandon did well on Sunday, Garnett.
Yeah, man. I'll see you get to the highlight. But here's my thing about Brandon Stevens before we get started with this. I just feel like if people just give the man a solid home to be at. Don't, when you're moving around a lot, being a rolling stone, I'm not trying to make a temptation reference, but when you're being a rolling stone, going from position to position, it's really hard to get acclimated to what you really want to do and how you really want to play. So if this is going to be his home, from what you say, if he had a solid game, when we're about to see some of the cutouts, let's keep him there. Like you said, Marlon does best, and he's having one of the best careers, arguably the best corner right now in the NFL. Obviously, Marcus Peters is getting his legs on him, but still performing really good while getting his legs on him. Yeah, man. I feel like should be no issue with keeping Stevens in the slot from what we're about to see.
So Alec, he's got a spot actually. I mean, it's just we've had different guys in this spot. If you see at the top of your screen under the S and finish, that's Marcus Peters' spot. All right, he plays on the left side. He's usually there against that outside receiver. You see Kyle Hamilton. He's in the white sleeve right there. He's covering the tight end. Brandon Stevens is going to be working with Marlon Humphrey on that side together. He's got a role. He's just got to play well, and it was good to see that on Sunday, I thought.
I agree.
All right, there we go. So let's roll it. So this is man coverage. COD. Now, I don't know if Eli's still in there. That does not mean Call of Duty, Eli. That is change of direction. And then finish on this. So let's see him against the shifty slot, Isaiah Mckenzie, and what we're talking about. Good coverage on this play. Avoids the traffic, cuts through. Was he there a little early? I thought so at the stadium, but no call there from Jerome and company. Nice play. Nice finish, though. I do like the finish. He didn't wrap his arm around him. He just went ahead and slapped his way in. So nice change of direction here. We're going to see what we always known. Balti Raven with the comment right here. Not bad for a college running back. We'll be able to see some of that running back physicality on this play right here. There's Brandon Stevens. He's going to go into motion here. Follow the receiver in motion. Watch him shed this block and get in on this play. Here comes 71. Nope. Ball out. So there's the block shed and the hustle. Plays with reckless abandon for his body, Garnett.
Yeah, from this play, I like how he didn't, engage into play. He was real swift about it. Boom, take a step back. Obviously he got rid of the defender, well, the offender in this case. But literally, and I like the dive right there. It's like, hey, I'm going to get the ball, aggressive. I like that type of hustle right there. It's like watching Dennis Rodman, man. With a loose ball under there, he just dove on it, man. I love it.
Yeah. Hey, man, one thing I love about Brandon Stevens through all the, critiques I've had of his play is he plays hard, man. And most of his missed tackles, as a matter of fact, Alec, come from him flying in out of nowhere, trying to make plays like this. He is a hard-nosed player.
Oh, yeah, man. I mean, that was like the thing about him out of college. You saw that hustle and his just ability to be everywhere. And I love how he's just, uses that smaller frame of his to be like, no way, big man, like, whoop, just doesn't let him get his paws on him nicely and is able to go and hustle in. Yeah, very good play by him.
Yeah, I mean, I hope he takes control of the job. I hope somebody takes control of that third cornerback job because we really need somebody to discipline here, and then a quick trigger. We'll see him again. Another hard play and close fast. You guys can see the first down markers there at the 35-yard line. So that's where the Bills have to go for a first down. The DBs are lined up at the sticks. You see he's working with Marlon again. Marlon's above Stevens in that picture, and Marcus Peters is down at the bottom. Watch how he closes on this route. Very, very quick. You can see it in slow motion, just how disciplined he is. He does not, he knows he has to carry that tight end a little bit. As soon as he sees Allen go, he goes and is able to close on that. Garnett, does that strike you as impressive, sir? Because I see this kind of stuff in college. I'm like, yeah, this guy's got his eyes where he's supposed to be, and he finishes.
I like the eyes. I feel like it's going to get faster and faster. I wouldn't say he took a delay, but it was like it was sound. I'll give it that. But I feel like it's going to be more quicker on the trigger. It's going to become secondhand nature to react. And once like I said, once he keeps on being comfortable in this position, like it. Basically, I can't wait, to be honest with you, to see how the progression comes with him. To be honest with you.
Yeah, Alex,
and dog in him in so many positive ways when it comes to the tackling and just being aggressive and just being disciplined. You know what I mean? So it's all going to get better.
Yeah, you see, Alec, he doesn't want to just give up on the tight end running past him. He respects it, in my opinion, just enough. You know what I mean? Just enough. He doesn't want to have Josh Allen pump fake to Mckenzie and then go to that tight end and be like, where were you, Brandon? It looks like in slow motion, I could tell he's like, I'm carrying the tight end, but I'm anticipating breaking on Mckenzie.
Right, and he knows that Williams is there behind him, so he stays with them as long as he needs to until he's basically going back into Williams's territory. And I think he has good awareness of knowing where the sticks are, getting in there, and making sure that Mckenzie's not able to go an inch further. The second he makes contact, Mckenzie's done. He's stonewalled, and that's huge, right? Like if I recall correctly, this was a third down play where it resulted in a 3rd and 1. So
it's actually second down. You can probably see the number 2.
Yeah,
up there.
Okay, so second, so it resulted in the 3rd and 1 next, right? So
right.
Yeah, like that was huge. Not letting them get that first down.
I want to see blanket coverage here, Garnett, and this is what you really like to see. Now, if you want to pick on Brandon Stevens or something, it's that him finding the ball. He's got a little Marlon Humphrey in him where he doesn't turn back. When he turns his back, it's a little late. Something that he's improved on a little bit over last year, but still has some work to do. But he's matched up on a big tight end here, and you can tell this tight end is just no match physically for Brandon Stevens, G.
Yeah, Bill, like when you see corners of that type of technique that they play, they're more worried about being in the right position, and then instead of trying to be in position to make interception. So, he's playing. Obviously he's playing through the receiver and not not through the quarterback. And I like the aggressiveness of him. Like I said, he's always going to play like a dog on him, on anybody. And the fact that literally, like I say, the more comfortable he gets in this scheme, I think we're going to be comfortable with him for years to come with him and Pepe. Like, it's going to be a nice little pairing that we can have with those two. Especially just like, and Dawson Knox, he's legit. He might not be top 5 or anything, but he's a very solid tight end too as well. Just to give him, just to let people know who he's going against as well.
Yeah, Dawson Knox, good tight end. Alec, I think his head is a little late on here. Once Dawson Knox turns his head, that's when I want to see him turn his head. You see, it's just like a second late. So it's there. He's got the right idea, but watch the helmets of both players if you can on this play. Right. Dawson Knox, once he's there, you look back. Take a peek. And that's why he's tripping over him again and could put himself into pass interference. G, you got something to say?
No, I say he pushed off at the end, and so he tried to reestablish where he needed to be on the field. So, if you look right when he gets to the 5 or 6 yard line, and you can see it right. Well, obviously right there, my bad. It was the 10-yard line. At the 10-yard line, he literally separated himself, and that's why it's like, oh crap, let me get back in position. Right, he tried to hustle back. Yeah.
Right, he goes into scramble mode a little bit after the cut, right there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it's blanket coverage. So you can see the athletic skills of Brandon Stevens there. Yeah, we'll just look at it one more time. But yeah, once a guy like that is breaking to the outside, there's nowhere else for him to go. I want to see your head turn right back towards the ball at that moment. Anticipation and burst. Again, how's that for a quick trigger, G? You like that?
Yeah, I do. Let me see it one more time, just the reaction.
I also circled Calais Campbell on this because he's the guy that's going to drop and take it away. But Calais wants a flag for intentional grounding there. But yeah, so Calais is dropping. Brandon Stevens, again, he knows that's Stephon Diggs. He breaks as soon as Josh Allen's arm comes up. Nowhere to go.
Yeah, he didn't have to. The thing about about his feet, yeah, he didn't take a gather step. What I mean by a gather step, basically, he had to T-step it to get there, and that's pretty damn good. That he can get a lot of burst in a smaller step instead of a T-step.
Yeah, T-step for you guys at home. Just imagine your feet are perpendicular to each other. Your front left toe is pointing forward, but your right back foot is in a sideways to be able to push off. And Garnett's saying, look how even his feet is. He never T-steps. It's just straight back pedal. And yeah, no wasted motion. I don't think this is a false step at all if you look at it in fast speed, regular speed, Alec. Again, not a highlight play that you'll find on highlight reel, but a really good sign, excellent technique, and you can see the ground he covers in such a short amount of time there.
Yeah, for sure. That actually really means a lot, right? Not just to have the ability to not have to take that T-step, but also it correlates to the change of direction, which we saw at the first play. Being able to gather yourself, stop on a dime, move, and get yourself in the right position.
Yep. You see the Ravens playing games up front, Garnett, with their pass rush. Something we've had to do a little bit here to generate some.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to watch one more time because I'm trying to see, okay, Bynes, and then, okay. So here's the question. I guess with Bynes, if you watch him, he breaks down. If I get it, I understand why he breaks down, but damn, if he didn't break down, you know what I mean? He broke down right there. He literally, I get it. But in that situation, it is what it is.
Yeah, and I think what I would say to you, Garnett, is they're trying to layer the rush here. There's a reason Bynes is coming in second. He's playing quarterback contained more, whereas Kane's just rushing. So Bynes, if he cannot come in out of control, his job is to watch Josh Allen almost in spy mode on that play. So
yeah, I get you, but you're almost in right where you're in no man's land because of the fact that what I mean by that. When the tackle comes off, it's almost like when the tackle come off, either you're gonna get there, and if you break down, you're almost out of the play. You're almost telling Josh to get out the pocket, and which would allow, I guess, who is that number?
Copeland. That's Copeland.
Yeah, Copeland would have got the sack regardless. So it's basically, if I was Bynes, I would have sacked me. I get it. You got to do your responsibility, but I would have sacrificed myself to push him out to Copeland, and that would have left Copeland by himself. It would have been whatever, I don't know. I get it though.
Yeah, you got to watch closely, man. It's up. It doesn't look like he settles until maybe Spencer or the right tackle Spencer Brown sees him. It's a tough call. I hear you though, G. But Copeland kind of stops too, if you notice. You know what I mean? He's not exactly in ear spin back either. Alec, what are your thoughts on the play, the blitz, the layered rushes and stuff that we're seeing in here?
I thought it was pretty well executed. Again, this kind of comes down to why the ball came out a little early. Wasn't able to get the ball, step into the throw, get it where it needed to go to get the completion.
See, now Yuri doesn't like Calais dropping on this play. Actually, it's part of what makes the play work. You never want to see it, but Calais is up there. He is going to fake the rush. Sorry, this is the play before. You see Calais fake the rush to make the lineman come after him and then take away that passing lane. So Calais is going to take up that left guard there who wants to come get him. There's nobody to get. He drops in. You see Allen has to pull the ball down. So I don't mind it. A lot of people get upset. Why is Calais dropping? Why is Oweh dropping? Well, that's how you generate pass rush when your 4-man rush isn't getting it done. You have to play some games and some tricks. So, yeah, I mean, Calais does a better job, quite frankly, than Patrick Queen has done in coverage on this play. So it's kind of questionable who you want in the front end there. Sorry, Mr. Queen, don't block me on Twitter, or do. I really don't care. I try to be fair.
All right,
Love all the Ravens.
Coach Evans gonna come here and get you.
Well, PQ, man. PQ. Great pressure from JP Peary there, too. So there we go, fellas. Our film study for week 4. Yeah. So what do you expect from Madubuike? What do you expect from Brandon Stevens? Can Stevens improve as the year goes along, Alec? If Garnett, like Garnett said, we just leave him in that spot, give him some more playing time, and leave with some of the up and down play that we get from him.
Yeah, for sure he can improve. I mean, he has all of the raw tools to make the plays. It comes down to his like cerebral nature. And I think he already is pretty wise. Like it seems like he has a pretty good understanding of the game as that improves, his film study improves, and as he just trusts himself and his players around him, absolutely he can improve. I mean, he has one of the least amount of like snaps on him at that position, as we talked about earlier, having been a player that jumped around a lot of players. So him being at that level now, given the amount of time he's put into that craft, is pretty impressive.
Garnett, how about Madubuike? Same question. Can he take his game to even the next level and become an unblockable force for this team? Somebody you really have to account for, a game wrecker, say.
Can he? Yes. Will he? We're waiting. What I mean, like consistent. Like I'm just waiting for him to just unleash. The one game that I would never let go is that Kansas City game, the Sunday night game when we played Kansas City, where he was just wreaking havoc 24/7. And I understand it's unrealistic to expect of a player to just be so damn dominant at a ridiculously high level like that, consistent unless you're Aaron Donald or whatever. But at the same time, I really do believe he can, unlock he can ascend to another level. And I'm just waiting for it. Maybe it shouldn't, like him and Travis Jones, when Travis Jones get back, I think that would be phenomenal. And I think that would help unlock it. But at the same time, he we'll see. We will see.
So we have a special guest tonight from the Ravens Gatekeepers. He is not in the comments tonight because he's right here with us. And check out this background, G. I'm a little intimidated.
How y'all doing?
It's Hendo, man.
He got the cleanest backgrounds every time, bro.
Now, Hendo, check out Alec's camera, though. You probably saw it when you was in the comments watching. Alec has got the a 100,000 HD camera recording his face and over there. Glasses shining, everything. Hendog, though, bro, you got the Lamar Jackson. I don't even know what to call it, like the Holy Trinity back there, bro, of Lamar Jackson.
It's just a bunch of Lamars I found online.
I would like to coach that team. We could use Lamar a couple of different places. 5 eligible Lamars with Lamar throwing.
Yeah, I don't think we could afford that.
No, you can't. Good point. So before we talk about this Bengals game, Hendo,
yes, sir.
Tell us about your show. First of all, hopefully some people come over here that don't know and can check you guys out. Ravens Gatekeepers.
Yes, like you said, it's Ravens Online Gatekeepers. Pretty much, I just talk Ravens talk. Sometimes I do it alone. Sometimes Garnett will be there. Lunch break, hot take, the crew. I just try to give alternative views on the Ravens because everything isn't always sunshine and rainbows, like some people say. Because on Twitter right now, Andy Isabella was EDC's plan all along, and he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. So sometimes I just feel like there needs to be a voice that speaks to the opposite of what everybody else is saying. But it's nothing special.
I see. Well, hey, man, you're special to me. I always like when Hendo pops in. By the way, guys, I DM'd the wrong Hendo. There's more than one Hendo following me. Garnett, I feel like I made it, brother.
Hey, that's good, man. Hey, you got both of them. Got the
Pretty
random.
good.
You got the actual.
What's the actual's name? I need to follow him.
I don't know. If you type in Hendo, though, this man might come up. So I'm hoping he doesn't contact me to want to come on the show too, unless he's really good, like our guy Hendog down there. So And before we get into the Bengals game and the injury report, I want to get we were just talking a lot about Madubuike, a lot about Brandon Stevens, both of whom had really good games on Sunday. What are your thoughts on those players? You want to go one at a time, and how they contribute to this season?
You want my honest opinion?
Of course, bro. That's why you're here, man.
Okay, so as far as Justin Madubuike goes, I think he's a beast. I think that, how do I say this? Even with Mike McDonald as the defensive coordinator, we're still running into some of the same patterns that we had before. They're not playing them enough. I don't understand how Calais Campbell gets more snaps than he does at his age. I just think that with the way he's been playing, especially this season, that he needs to get more. Now, as far as Brandon Stevens is concerned, not a fan. I'm not a fan. Like, his technique to me is off sometimes. He trails a lot. He makes some good plays. Now, don't get me wrong. And I know it's not all him because he's only played, cornerback 2 years in college after being a running back, and he switched colleges. I just think he needs more time to develop. I think for us as a team, we put too much pressure on a lot of young guys. We don't have the right veteran young person mix to kind of build them up, teach them the ways. We throw them right in and say, listen, you got to make plays. And that's why I think a lot of our young players aren't developing as fast as we think that they should, or playing as well as I would believe.
All right. So, Hendo, I agree with you, but I'm going to push back hard on the why.
Of course.
I do agree that we got – I don't think it's because we don't have veterans. We got veterans sprinkled in at every group. I think it's because we draft project players in the first place.
I didn't want to say that, man.
We do. We draft a No Way. We draft a Brandon Stevens in the third round. We're drafting. No Way's got Justin Houston. Now he's got JPP. That's not helping him develop any faster because he was just a raw athlete in Najabo. Hollywood Brown isn't really polished compared to, an AJ Brown or whatever. Who am I missing? Patrick Queen. 8 games in a career. These are project players. We got the vets, bro. They're just not.
Okay, Jason, what vets do we have? Because if you say Calais Campbell, he's 3 years past his prime. If you say Michael, if you say he can listen, he can stop the run, but let's be real, how many teams are really running the ball like that? He's had 5 sacks in the last 3 years, approximately.
But I'm confused though, Hendo. Honestly,
yes, sir.
Weren't you just talking about leadership?
Yes,
they don't have veterans to learn from. Calais not being Calais, and he's still Calais. Like he's still learning from him.
Yes, but we as a team, we need cap space leadership. We need players that can actually lead and play on the field.
Okay,
that's what I mean. That's what I mean by leadership. Now, as far as being a leader, teaching them how to be a professional and doing it the right way. Listen, Calais Campbell, he's been one of my favorites, even though I'm not a fan of the University of Miami.
Hey, you take that back.
He's been one of my favorite players, but I just think that with this leadership, we also need production. Just like we draft production players, we bring in less productive veterans like Michael Pierce. Listen, he was a decent, cheap signing. And for a game or so against third string offensive line, he caused pressure. But we don't have these players that's like, look, I'm going to go out here and I'm going to do this and I'm going to make life easier for you. And that's why I think Owe struggles, even though I wasn't a fan of the pick in the first place. But I just think that we don't have that veteran presence that picks up enough of the production for this team.
All right. See, I don't buy that, man. I think it's because of the players themselves that they have plenty of veterans to learn from. Like I think those are two separate issues. Like that's my thing on it. So here we go. Injury report time. Oh, Miss B in here, the Queen Bee. Hi, Yolanda.
I just saw you.
We got a disagreement in here, Yolanda. I love it, man. I love having that on the show. Of course, Yolanda's getting some love. Balti Raven, control yourself, sir. Okay, here we go. Just kidding. Have a lot of fun. Here we go with the injury report. So a couple of names that stick out. Garnett, kick us off here. Rashad Bateman with his foot in a boot after the game. Harbaugh said it was day to day. To me, that means week to week. Like I really don't expect him to play or to even play a full snap load this week. How about you? How about you, sir?
Yeah, I don't think he's probably going to play. I think he's going to be a scratch, and that goes back to what we was discussing about either Prochet or Andy Isabella. Like I said, that if the money line comes out where Andy Isabella he does play, just sweep. I'm putting money on it. But yep.
Alec, Rashad Bateman.
This one scares me a lot. If he doesn't play, I think it's going to be a huge problem for the Ravens and their offense. And I don't know, man. It's hard to call on a Wednesday, but it doesn't look good.
And what's your thoughts, man? Concern level here. You think he plays Sunday? Do you think this is a year-long, possibly like a year-long thing, where he can't get it fixed till after the season? I'm a little concerned myself, bro.
Concern is very slight. Now, my thing is, was it Harbaugh that said he was day-to-day, or was it Bateman? Because I read some reports where Bateman said he was day-to-day. And if that's
No, it
the
was
case,
Harbs. It was Harbs after the game, just to answer your question.
okay, because I read some reports where he said that Bateman said it. But irregardless, I think it's a slight concern. I don't think he plays Sunday, but I don't think that it is going to be a very long-term injury. I hope not.
I know. I hope not either. They said, Hendo, I'm just worried that this is one of those, like, you get that L word, the Liz Frank, where you can't do, if it just banged up, it just affects you the whole year. He's probably not going to shut it down and have surgery if he needs it. It could just slow him down. So that's, for an already, receiving core that lacks any kind of star power, where he's the number one. But yeah, it was Harbaugh right after the game where he wasn't in the mood to really talk about anything. But he just said day to day. So I don't even know if I could take that for what it's worth. You know what I mean? That was just the game just ended. You know what I mean? I'm sure he didn't get any kind of detailed medical report. Hey, next guy we're going to talk about. Josh Bynes hit full practice. So Josh Bynes is fine. Calais getting his rest. J.K. Dobbins' chest did not practice. They're probably resting him like they're resting Marcus coming off that knee surgery. So no concern there. Garnett, Justice Hill. Man, it didn't look good. Harbaugh, hamstring, probably some weeks. Sounds like it's not a season ender, is what Harbaugh had to say after the game. What's your outlook on Justice Hill? 4 to 6 weeks, probably?
Yeah, I'd say about 4 to 6 weeks, or somewhere. Well, I'll say about 4 weeks or something like that. I don't know. I really, it's so hard for me to take what John say until like game day or whatever, because now you actually have a real good idea of how severe an injury is. He plays the whole Jedi mind tricks with us, but yeah, might as well start getting ready for Ken Drake or whoever else we got I guess the dugout, or what do they call it for pitchers?
Yeah, dugout, bullpen.
The bullpen. Yeah, just go ahead and
warm
get
up in the bullpen. Alec, Justice Hill really added a little burst to this running game, man. He's going down at a bad time. A tough running back. It seemed like we were finally getting a little something going on with him and JK.
It did. Yeah, it's disappointing to see that he's going to be out for a little bit. I feel like it might be a little shorter than 4 weeks if they're not putting him on IR, but I do know that the IR restrictions now, where you can only elevate 8 people back from it, might be causing them to not want to use it this early in the season. We'll see. The nice thing is that it sounds like Edwards is coming back online. Obviously a different kind of back, but I think we won't need Hill's explosiveness as Dobbins keeps getting his legs under him. I really like what I've seen so far from Dobbins.
So, Hendo, I'm going to transition that right into you, man. Gus, how long is it going to take Gus to get ready, and how long is Hill going to be out? How long are we going to be with Dobbins and two guys that we don't have a lot of confidence in before the support arrives?
Ooh, tough one. As far as Gus, my prediction is Gus comes back in 2 games. Because isn't that what happened with JK? He practiced and they still kept him out for 2 games. So I think maybe 2 games. For me, I'm concerned about Justice Hill only in the fact that hamstrings can be tricky. You can fully heal, but sometimes they can linger on throughout the season. And outside of Lamar and Dobbins, but I think they have him on kind of a pitch count. I think that he's been the most explosive running back that we've had. And without him, listen, Kenyon Drake isn't cutting it. Mike Davis, he's just there just in case. I'm really concerned about this running game.
All right, so let's work it back up, Hendo. Right back at you. Give me your Ronnie Stanley take on the Huddle It Up Films channel. Let's hear it, bro, because I haven't heard you on this one. So is Ronnie coming back this week? Give me how you been feeling throughout this whole thing, man.
Listen, I'm not very confident that Ronnie Stanley will be back before midseason. And if he's not, I'm fine with that. I want him to be healthy. People can talk about how much money he's made. It doesn't matter to me. As long as he's healthy at the right time. Don't rush him back, because we saw what happened last year against the Raiders. We rushed him back. He went right back out. Now, the only issue that I have with this is we don't know what we're going to get because it's been basically 2 years. Now, Ronnie Stanley can come back, but we don't know if we're getting Ronnie Stanley back. That's the one thing that we really don't know. We don't know his level of play. And even once he comes back, he still has to get technically in football shape. He has to get acclimated to the speed of the game. So even still, it's still going to take him about 4 games to get right. I'm just not really high on what we're going to get out of him this season.
I'm keeping my expectations managed. I have since the beginning, man. I don't know if you saw me on Twitter, but I feel like people rush to the conclusion. Oh, Ronnie's. Remember, he first started practicing in late in training camp. Oh, Ronnie's back. It's like, man, I'm with you, Hendo. It's not that simple to come back from almost 2 full years, calendar years of playing football. I mean, he got injured in, I think, October, November in 2020. It's almost 2 years later, man. Like, that's a long time. Garnett, you got anything to add on Mr. Stanley this week, sir?
No, man. Get well. Hopefully, be ready whenever. And hey, for all LA, keep on doing your job, man.
Alec, you think he plays this week, next week, or you think you more with Hendo mid-season?
Where'd I go? He's playing this week. Offense is getting
so.
introduced. They're going to be like, all pro Ronnie Stanley. Everyone's going to be like, are we cheering right now? What's going on? And they're going to cheer. He's coming out.
Miss B says, not coming back this week or next. So Yolanda is with Hendo on that. Man, Yuri wants to know, Garnett, are you cold? You just put on a little sweater. You need me to send you my hoodie over there to warm up a little bit?
No, I just had to make sure I put on my little street clothes. That's all.
Wow.
I was just joking, man. Like, I love running. I just want to joke, but I just want to put on.
There it is.
Hendo, you're the guest, bro. Can you please comment on this, sir? If Stanley hasn't healed up after 2 years, will he ever heal up? I understand if he's rusty, but he's not going to heal any more than he has. By the way, brain over brawn, I said the same thing. It's as fixed as it's going to fix, bro. You better get out there, get through the pain, and just see what it is. I don't buy that. I don't buy it as much as like, oh, well, he just needs a little bit longer to heal. Bro, it's healed. You had 2 surgeries, one right after last season. Man, it's just so tough, Endo. What do you think about brain over brawn's comment? Will it ever heal up?
Listen, football players, he'll never be 100%. And I've heard some football players say, listen, I'm going to be as close to 100% as I'm going to be. So I'm going to go out and play. But also, you kind of have to look at not just the injury, but scar tissue. This is something that people don't really think about. Like, the injury can heal, but if you have scar tissue in there, it's going to kind of mess with you. It's going to kind of get irritated. It's going to swell. It hurts. And it hurts. I'm hoping for the best, but me personally, I've emotionally and mentally moved on from Ronnie Stanley. I just think he's done personally.
Okay. I ain't going that far, but I have suggested, if you notice, Hendo, that he needs to go out there and go through breaking up that scar tissue and going through the pain and taking reps, because I don't think it's any more structurally sound 2 weeks from now than it is now. It's like, bro, push it, see where you're at. If you're not 100%, if you can't block nobody, all right, take that extra time, but we need to find out where you are. So, yeah, I mean, I don't buy this part, Garnett, that the Ravens are trying to rush him. He has them in a contractual headlock for 2 years. There's nothing the Ravens can do with that man and his money. They're at Ronnie Stanley's mercy when it comes to that kind of thing. So if they ain't rushing, if they're holding J.K. Dobbins back, if they're holding Boyle back because they're not ready, I can't see them just saying, oh, let's just throw an injured guy out there on Lamar's blind side and ruin his career that we have all this tied into. I don't buy the Ravens pushing him to come back.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't say, man. I think it's just the casual fan base that would say something like that. But for me, I don't think Ronnie knows his body better, than anybody. And how I look at it, man, you do the right thing for you at the first and foremost. But at the same time, it's like we all want to know, where are you at actually? And I think that's the biggest question to all of us. And him having that one little news reporter, he had like a little interview in the locker room saying, hey, a lot of you guys just don't know exactly what I've been through, or multiple surgeries. And again, that's why I say I respect it, and I leave it alone. And we made insurance policy with Lele, McCary, and all this, so on and so forth. But I understand a lot of money is tied up to that man. But hey, like I said, I'm with AP down there, man. Lele, man. Let's, he's been doing a stellar job for the past couple of games, and if he keeps on doing what he's doing, man, like I think we're going to be good for the future because now we got an insurance policy for an insurance policy.
Alec, I want you to comment on this because I was just about to ask you. Troy, reading my mind. Troy, that's Troy from Twitter, man. What is up, bro? Love you. I appreciate always when you interact with my tweets. He'd be more inclined to throw him out there if Faalele didn't play so well. Alec, say Ronnie. I guess it's going to be like when Ronnie says he's ready and he practices all week, Ronnie's out there. But do you think the coaches are extra careful? Do you think that Faalele has I don't know, quelled some of the sense of urgency? I'm not sure if I buy it. I think like they want Ronnie out there so they can stop having Ricard help Faalele.
Yeah, I definitely think there's a piece to that. If Faalele didn't exist and you had Cleveland running out there, yeah, I think they'd be a little bit more inclined to fire up Stanley.
Hendo, does that have anything to do with the price of tea in China, or is it whenever Stanley's ready, he's out there, bro? You don't care if AV was out there, it would be the same story.
Oh no, he needs to play. Like, listen, I think that for the first 4 weeks of the season, we've kind of gotten by because a lot of people don't realize Buffalo had a lot of hurt players on defense. And yes, Faalele, for being a right tackle, coming over with no notice, playing left tackle, he's done fine. But once we start playing these better defenses, once we start getting against the Clownies and the Garretts and everything like that, we can't always send somebody over there to chip or help block. So I think Stanley needs to come back as soon as possible if he is really healthy. If he's
Agreed. Like, just because Faalele has done fine, I mean, really, Faalele has done phenomenal, better than any of us could have expected. But what that equals, and what you're saying, Hendo, is he's played fine. He needs some help over there. He needs Ricard chipping or the running back chipping. And with Ronnie Stanley, that's an all-pro, tackle that Lamar can trust. That sends another receiver out into the pattern. Makes things easier on your quarterback when you don't have to dedicate resources to help your left tackle. So yeah, man. So let's get into this Bengals game. Hendo, you are the guest, sir. I'm going to throw up some stats. Garnett, what do you think, brother? Better than last week? You need your glasses?
No, it's better. A lot better. I don't have to go all, yeah, so we're good. Yeah, it's beautiful, man. Good job.
Hendo, you got anything fancy like this on your channel, man? I'm a little proud of my graphic here.
Oh, no. I mean, listen, I might have to copy this.
Nice. Yeah, look at me, Alec. I'll be giving pointers on graphics once, man. The most helpless man I've got one right. All right.
It's beautiful, dude.
A lot to get to on here. Alec, let's start with you, man. You're a chart reader. Which of these numbers sticks out to you? What are you looking at?
I don't know, man. All the numbers? I'm looking at a whole lot of numbers out there. Look, man, the craziest part to me is the Bengals rush offense. 26 in the league, and Joe Mixon is their running back. Why is that? Well, they retooled their offensive line with a bunch of light foot guys. Like they can't get that push, dude. So yeah, they're doing better in pass pro, but they're not as good in the run blocking, and we're seeing that very clearly here. So I'm still concerned because Joe Mixon in space is a good player. I think this line is a little deceiving. I think the Ravens, though, have the right personnel to give them fits. So I do think that we can contain Mixon.
All right, we'll go Garnett and Hendo. Can you pick right up after Garnett, please? Bengals rush offense. Okay, Garnett. They're only getting 89 yards a game, 26. They're only averaging, Joe Mixon and company, 3.1 yards per rush. The Ravens haven't been great run defense, but what are your feelings on, are the Bengals going to be able to run the ball enough to make the Ravens respect it?
I think so. I'm not trying to be the negative Neil. My middle name's Neil. So, but Joe Mixon always has a good ass game against us, man. Like, I've just been straight up honest with you. Something about Joe Mixon and Baltimore it doesn't mix, but it makes for them. What I mean. So obviously, our attention, as Marley will point out in the press conference, we'll be on that the receiving core, but we obviously we can't just forget about the run game. But I think Joe Mixon is gonna probably have a game, but it's really going to be all upon our guys are getting home on Joe Burrow to help that out. Do whatever. wait till we get to the other side to explain my
Okay.
whole thought process behind it. But yeah,
Well, all right. Yeah, let's skip you then for Garnett because
Yeah.
I think the reason behind this question is if they can run the ball on us, Hendo, bro, you know what I mean? Like, if we can shut down the run, it gives us a better chance against this pass offense that we'll talk about later. So my question to you, like Garnett, can the Bengals run the ball enough on us to make us respect it? Or is this going to be like we completely shut them down and can dedicate more resources to the pass defense?
I believe they can run it. Last week, Buffalo, averaged 5 yards a carry. The Dolphins with a banged up line had 170, 182 yards rushing on us. I just don't think that we have the exact pieces right now, or I don't think that they've gelled properly because we haven't stopped the run literally all year. And then you have to factor in what Cincinnati does in the pass game and what they're going to do with Hayden Hurst. I think Hayden Hurst may be the key to opening up their pass game. I mean, their run game.
I gotcha. Yep, gotcha. So let's get to a couple of guest comments before we go to the elephant in the room, which is the pass defense against Joe Burrow and these weapons. Hey, anybody recognize these guys? LBHT crew in the house. Jose Brodney, what's up, brother? Love to see you guys. Thank you very much. And I love when we support each other, man. And I'll tell you all the time, I'm there for you. You ever want me on, I'm there for you. We do support each other a lot in this community, Hendo.
Listen, this goes out to anybody. Anyone can come, and Garnett can attest this. Anybody can come to my channel. I'm just bad at inviting people. Like I'm really hard. I'm really horrible at doing it. And it's no offense to anybody. If anybody wants to come on, it's fine. I love having it, and I love the community that we have as Ravens creators. Regardless if we agree, we disagree, the points of views are way out there. I don't care. I like to have that discussion to kind of open up people's minds one way or another. So, like I said, anybody wants to come on, just let me know.
I love it. Seeing, you might be bad at inviting people, but Garnett's great at inviting himself. So that makes right up for it. All right. So Brain Over Braun with the transition here. Sorry about that, Endo. You got a good looking piece. But Brain Over Braun says that 32nd ranked pass defense. Yeah, brother, it hurts. So you look at the Bengals pass offense. This is interesting to me, Hendo. Yes, so they're 8th in yards per game. So they're throwing, 8th in the NFL at yards per game. But as far as yards per attempt, 16th. Okay. So what that number is coming down to, Hendo, is Joe Burrow's getting hit a lot. So you're getting negative plays. They're throwing for a lot of yards, but their yards per drop back isn't great because Burrow's getting hit and sacked. Right. Talk about this matchup here is the biggest worry, obviously, for Ravens in this game.
Okay, so that stat is a little misleading because, with the sacks, the Bengals have allowed 16 sacks this year, 7 the first game, 6 the second game, 2 the next game, 1 last week. They're collectively getting better. Like I hope our offensive line does. And they had some tough matchups, and I just don't think they had everything together. We are 32nd in pass defense. Like this is not a good recipe. This is not something that we needed at this particular time. So look, you can put statistics aside in a divisional game. I'm just fearful that, listen, Marlon is playing lights out and he may be able to hold Jamar Chase down. Peters, T. Higgins. My concern is Brandon Stevens, Pepe Williams against Tyler Boyd, because he is a number 1 receiver going against our 3rd cornerback. And we saw what happened with Devontae Parker, who had 2 catches coming into the game. So listen, that yards per attempt means nothing in this game.
Alec, great points there by Hendo. I will say though, if I do feel really good with Marcus and Marlowe playing so well, that is Higgins and Chase. Man, that is a tough 1-2 combo. The bugaboo, man, Hendo, you missed our film study. You might have seen our film study with the Dolphins. It was over the middle all day. Big game for Brandon Stevens, Alec.
Yeah, for sure it will be. And, I think these numbers are a little misleading. I'm not saying that the pass defense is infallible here, but you look at the pieces that we have and they're quite good, right? And you think to yourself, these players, like play pretty darn well. I think teams are from behind. They're passing a lot, and they got just so burned in one game, 469 yards or something ridiculous like that, that this is all a little inflated. So Not saying that the pass defense is perfect. We saw what a guy like Devontae Parker did to us, but I think that this is a little misleading and is giving Ravens fans a little more heartburn than they necessarily need to have, because you see like you got Humphrey, you got Peters, you got Williams protecting them back there. I think that's a stellar combo, right? And I think that's what's really going to be missed from when you look at last year. We didn't have that free safety.
Garnett. So we're going to go back to Hendo on this one, but before we do, I think both of them made good points, man.
Can I say one thing?
Hold on for a second. I'm going to get G in and get you right back. I think Hendo and Alec both made points. The Bengals pass statistics may be a little deceiving because they cleaned up Joe Burrow getting hit. So they're a better passing offense than those stats give them credit for. Alex saying we're a better pass defense than we're given credit for because, we got Marcus Peters back now. Brandon Stevens is playing better, yada, yada, yada. We got that free safety. All these yards came in the Dolphins game. You know what I mean? So I think both of them have a point. Where are you sitting on this? This matchup, which is obviously like the key to the game here, is being able to slow down the Bengals through the air.
Man, so, I think it's possible, very, very possible, if we just come out the first half and really just, try to lock these boys up. Here's my issue about the whole secondary, and this is where me and Coach DC had a really good 2-hour conversation where we just talking back and forth. Like, bro, it really just goes down to, like, McDonald is just putting these boys in good position to just be successful. That's all, just adjustments. That's my biggest thing. Like, this secondary, I had Hendo, I don't think you watched the show when we had Sarah Ellison on. I was speaking very. Oh, thank you. So you know how I spoke heavy about this defense, and with the secondary we have, and just the pass rush, the interior pass rush that we have as well. And the biggest thing is, like, the talent's there, but the issue is, running same type of plays and and over and then going back to doing it again and not adjusting, even modifying to what we're doing, which makes it easier for offense to pick up, right? So I feel like, if DC, not say DC, that's crazy. The defensive coordinator, the DC, literally makes adjustments with the secondary, man, I think we'll be good, man. Like, we have the pieces. That's the craziest thing. But I just think the fact that literally the DC is creating bad tape for some of these guys out there. That's just my opinion.
Hendo, go ahead, man. I know you got a lot to say, brother. I was loving where you were going there.
Oh, no, sir. I just had one thing to say. We do have the pieces, but we are the only team in the NFL allowing 300 yards per game through the air. The only one.
315. Because I know, because of my fancy chart. I'm proud of that. I'll bring it up once again.
Right.
I mean, bro, you doubt my skills, and look at what I brought to the table here. So yeah, Bengals points scored a game 22.8. Ravens are allowing 25 points per game. I don't know about you guys. We'll go around real quick on this, Garnett. If the Bengals score between 22 and 25, which is what they scoring on the year and what we're allowing on the year, I would take that, bro. I'd say give me Bengals. You tell me the final score ends with Bengals 24. I'm taking it. How about you, bro?
I'm not taking it. The reason why I'm not taking it is because literally it all depends on what we do in the first half. And just really, just like I say, it just makes about the adjustment about the DC. I gotta. Mike has to win me over. I'm at a point where it's literally on him. 4 games, the first quarter, like how AP talked about. The first game with an anomaly with the Miami game is a great learning lesson all around. And then we come back to this the debacle with the game with the it's crazy. I just went blank. Yeah, with the game against the bro, can somebody help me out? I really just went full retard.
The game against
You're right.
The Bills. Literally the Bills. Obviously we got shut out. We didn't score, but at the same time, like, adjustments weren't made. So I gotta see something, man.
Garnett.
Yeah.
Z the Beast saying, the players are saying it's on them and not McDonald. Is that just players taking responsibility?
Yeah, the players just protecting their coach. Like, but probably just, if I did something wrong, whatever, And like, I'm like, hey, yeah, you know, that basically my boss did something, but like, it's my fault. It's not my boss. I didn't follow SOP. Whatever. It's cover up, man. You're doing so. You're supposed to do that. You know, if you want to buy it, you can buy it if you want. I'm not buying. I'm keeping my money.
Tanja, thank you. Glad to see you in the chat. Yes, it's the pass rush, man. Pass rush. We need more explosion in that area. That'll help your DBs too, as we all know. So, Alec, I am going to get back to the original question. You have I have a magic card here, and I say, Alec, if I give you this card, the Bengals will score between their season average of 22.8 and what the Ravens give up of 25. Do you take that in this game, or you say, let me see I'll take the defense?
Oh yeah, take that, man. Let's go. Offense can do that. They can score enough points. They can beat that.
And you take 25 points, wouldn't you?
No, I would not. I mean, I would take 25 points prior. It depends. Listen, if Justice Hill doesn't play and Bateman doesn't play, we've kind of seen what the offense looked like in the second half of that game. You know, once they doubled Andrews and we had to have others step up. Now, if Bateman were to play and Justice Hill plays, of course, I'll take 22 every day. But without those, the uncertainty of the offense, I don't know. I just don't know.
All right, Hendo, so transition us in here. The Ravens, third in the league, scoring almost 30 points a game. The Bengals defense, very good. 17.5 points a game. Solid defense overall against an offense that has been great, kind of really fizzled out. And, you know, in my opinion, we could have closed out that Bills game with just a little more from our offense, really kind of let us down there. Should have never been in that position. What is your confidence level? Ravens offense versus Bengals defense in general on that side of the ball, sir?
That's a tough one because, listen, with the Bengals allowing 17.5 a game, it's kind of skewed a little bit. You know, they played the tricky Mitch-led Pittsburgh Steelers. They had Tua go out in the Dolphins game, so that kind of makes those numbers look a little bit better than they really are. But listen, our offensive line going up against Trey Hendrickson, he kind of concerns me a little bit. A lot of people thought when he left New Orleans, he was just a one-trick pony, but him and Sam Hubbard, there's a cause for concern. Now, if we get anywhere over 25 points, it's game over. It's game over. I think that will be enough to get by. Hopefully we can find a semblance of a run game to where if we do get that lead, we can run out the clock.
There you go. And Troy's saying he feels like we'll need to score 30. So Troy would take that Bengals score between 23 and 25. All right, Alec, your time, sir. Bengals offense or Ravens offense, Bengals defense, top of the charts here. Just overall feel before we dig into anything.
The Bengals have a lot of continuity coming into this year. They already showed that they were a good defense last year. And also I would say that they've been really good at making halftime adjustments. And that's something that the Ravens have struggled with all season long. We see these teams make halftime adjustments and then they don't score all half. And then people are saying their defense sucks. It makes Alex sad. But and so it's kind of like a nice little combo right there. You know, okay, you got a team that's known for making good second half adjustments. Now we got to see if the Ravens can actually respond. I think it's all on the offense this week, man. And like Hendo's saying, I'm a little nervous given these injuries to Hill and Bateman if they're going to be able to respond. But I think you add in a Stanley and you just say Dobbins, it's go time. I think we might be all right. And get Prochet back in there.
Hey, I still got Isabella, baby. What are you talking about? Isabella, let's go.
Hey, Garnett, man, Garnett.
Oh yeah, Beatty too. Yeah.
This team is giving you fits, bro. Remember all last year? We couldn't score in the first quarter. We couldn't score on the first drive. And, you know, we could still get our thing going. Now this year, G, we're like on fire in the first quarter, in the first half, and we're fizzling out in the second half, man. So, first of all, just for fun, which is more frustrating? And second of all, what's your overall thoughts on this offense heading into the game?
For the past 48 hours, I've been one of the most confused Raven fans because I've been asking people in the DMs like, "Hey, man, how should I feel?" Because we get what we want with a beautiful 15-play drive from our offense. AP, I don't know if you ever heard me say this, but Greg has the most beautiful 15-play script plays you'll ever see, right? It's something that's just it's a razzle dazzle, has all the stuff, right? And then like we'll score a touchdown here or there, and then we'll kick 3, maybe get another touchdown, and then when that second half starts, it goes right back to the typical, no vault offense where we used to seeing like the typical dive that gets nowhere, and then the RPO, Lamar gets like maybe a couple yards, if not nothing, and then next thing you know, we're on third down, scratching our butts, waiting for a stupid little pass or so. It's the same thing, and this goes back to what you was talking about. So, but for me, Jason, I'm just weirded out right now, man. I can't even explain how I feel about this. Because like here's the thing, like the offense dictates our defense so damn bad. Like how AP was saying, like literally, if you want to put the ropes, and help out the defense, you gotta drop at least 14 to 17 points before halftime. You have to. Now it basically okay. Now with the whole Joe Mixon, now he's not completely out of the game, but now we can smash him hard on first downs to the point where now we can like, okay, I want you to challenge Marlon Humphrey. You're probably not going to win. Hopefully you're not going to win. I want you to challenge Marcus Peters. I want you to challenge our new stud safety, Marcus Williams back there. You know what I mean? It's now the ball is in our court. So that's where I'm at with this whole thing. But yeah, man, I don't know how to feel about this offense. Like I feel numb almost.
So Hendo, I don't know if you can see the comments, brother, and I've been bringing them up here while Garnett was talking. Mm-hmm. But it's like the word complimentary football came out of my mouth in the Patriots game. We were finally playing complimentary football. And like when I read the comments, when I hear what Alec says, when I hear what Garnett says, Hendo, to me, it's just like, we've seen it here, but we're not seeing it here. Well, Lele stepping up, Moses letting it down. Well, the offense is playing good, but the defense gives it up. Then the defense is playing well, but the offense can't. Like Hendo, is there something to that with this team where, like, does it give you hope that eventually, hopefully, we can find, how teams gel throughout a season, brother? Like, does it give you a little hope that we can start playing better as a team, quote unquote?
Yes, I have hope that we can play better as a team, but I don't have hope that we're going to get to that elite level. I mean, it may not be a popular opinion, but if you just look over through history, let's just take the last 8 years. John Harbaugh led teams, like, we just don't get it together. We have the same issues, the same clock management issues, the same undisciplined team. It's just certain things that have been a repeated pattern for us for years. And now with lesser talent, it's starting to show a little bit.
So, Alec, a lot there, man. A lot there. Let's get into the specifics right here. The Ravens rush offense, 142 yards a game, which is 8th. 5.4 yards per carry is 3rd. Bengals rush defense, very solid, even though Hendo mentioned they haven't had the stiffest competition here. They're 4th in yards per game. They're 7th in yards per carry. Alec, our running back numbers our running game numbers are a symptom of the quarterback being an all-world runner at this point. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm stressed in this game that we're not going to be able to run the ball without Justice Hill, and considering the fact that we're going up against a pretty stout defense here and haven't gotten much running back production as of yet. And, dude, our most productive running back just went out with a hamstring injury. So, Ravens run offense, Alec.
Yeah, I'll be a little concerned if guys like Mike Davis and Drake are getting touches for sure. I want to see what Dobbins can do with a full workload. I want to just see them lean on him. I think the Dobbins look increasingly good each time, and we've seen it from game one, like the stiff arms, the jukes, the spins. Like he has it. I think right now it's a conditioning thing, like making sure that he can play the whole game. So he might not be able to do it all. I'd rather see Beatty called up personally than either of those other two guys. Or I also rather see Drake than Mike Davis. But yeah, I guess it's like Yuri's saying though. I mean, it's going to come down to Lamar gives such a huge advantage to these running backs. He has to account for him so much. He can be the magnetic force for the whole defense and help out the offensive players. So maybe Lamar isn't the one touching it the whole time. Maybe he gets most of his yards scrambling if the passing game doesn't have an option. But I think that he'll be a key to the run offense, regardless of how many times he actually runs the ball.
Right. Lamar's going to threaten his part. They're going to have eyes on him, no doubt. So I'm going to start with Hendo. G, pick right up on Hendo on this one, please. Here's my question to you guys. I'm thinking that Dobbins is going to get more work. I would say full workload is a little exaggerating, but Dobbins will get more work, and they're going to use Mike Davis in on third downs because of his pass protection. That's what I see them using him for. I think that's why they kept him. I think it's because he's just so good in pass pro and has soft hands, as you see in his career receptions. So Hendo, J.K. Dobbins, first and second down back, maybe some third downs too, of course. But Mike Davis is going to come in on your third and long situations. Lamar's his own check down, let's face it. So that's kind of how I see it.
I can see it that way. I do think that they need to limit J.K.'s kind of touches and snaps until he's fully healthy. But I just think that with the Mike Davis situation, while albeit pass pro, he is very good, it kind of limits your offense because when he's in there, you're tipping him off. Like you're letting him know what you're going to do. He's not a threat to run it as he has not been all season long. So you're letting teams know already, look, they're not running the ball. It's going to be a pass. I probably, even though it's not much better, I would probably prefer Kenyon Drake to be in there because he has a little more explosion.
Okay. Garnett, take it up. I'm saying Mike Davis is going to play probably before Drake because of that third downs. Maybe Drake spells JK on the early downs, but I'm feeling like JK and then Mike Davis in there to pass protect.
Yeah, so I'm in a mix between both, or torn between both. To be honest with you, I still think King Drake has something in the thing. I get it. So the problem with our system is we like to divide carries to in between amongst the backs, right? So the sample size that we see is really somewhat unfair when it comes to those backs or whatever, because unless you're Adrian Peterson or Chris Johnson or the elite type of running back, man, like even Todd Gurley in his prime, they're not going to take many cares for them to bust one. But for us, you got to develop a rhythm, especially with this offensive line that we have when it comes to run blocking. So there's sometimes the holes are there, sometimes they really ain't there. So especially going against Cincinnati's defense, I know B.J. Hill is going to be out, but they're still stacked up front. So yeah, man. But just to get back to your question, I would like I said, I would like to see Kenyon Drake. I still believe he got some type of juice because we are lacking the burst department, and I'm just tired. I'm just being straight up on. I'm just tired of relying on Lamar to just carry, just to bail us out, and that's where it comes back to adjusting as a coordinator and figuring out ways. Stretch plays, tosses, screens. You thought we would do a lot of screens in that Buffalo game, but we really didn't.
Yeah, and that's what makes the loss of Justice Hill so painful to me, right. Garnett. Like he was actually providing that. Teams were respecting the edge. Lamar was breaking runs up the middle. We were finally, we're all been frustrated, Hendo, on this channel with the lack of running back production. It's all Lamar. We're fifth in the league in rushing. Ravens, man, they can run. No, we can't, bro. It's all Lamar. It's felt like in that Buffalo game in the week before against the Patriots, I put together our running back touches, caught up on the channel. Man, we're finally getting somewhere, man. Wait till JK gets a couple more games, man. Justice Hill looks good. Justice Hill is finally finding it, and it's not there. So this may be a game that, once again, Lamar has to play superhero, which, he can, but you don't love that. You don't love it when he's 87% of your entire offense. You'd rather give the man more help. It's a long season. So let's go to AP. I think you're starting us off on this, going to Hendo afterwards. Ravens pass offense came down to earth a little bit in that Buffalo game. You see, we went down from number 1 in yards per attempt to number 6, still lead the league in touchdown passes. One thing that strikes me about the Bengals pass defense with Trey Hendrickson and Sam Hubbard and all those guys, they only have 7 sacks on the season against some pretty bad offensive line. So as scared as we are about their pass rush, our pass blocking has been very good, Alec, better than we could have expected. And from the numbers, at least, the Bengals are underperforming on getting pressure on the quarterback. Lamar, one of the fewest, least hit, least pressure quarterbacks in the NFL. So, hey, what do you think, even without Bateman, can this pass offense keep up with the Bengals?
Keep up with their pass offense? Probably not. Can they keep up enough to keep the offense on schedule and score points? I think so. So that's a good point. And when we talked to our Bengals fan in our show, he was saying the same thing. That, these players aren't getting home, despite the fact that you'd think that they would be able to. I think the big thing that we'll have to see is I want to see more out of Likely this game. I want to see more out of any player that has any kind of like underneath, like easy. I want to get the easy things. I want to make it easier on Lamar this game, because I think we're like putting Lamar on hard mode, and I understand why, because he can deliver and he can make these star plays. But I think if we just give him some easy like scheme passes, like when they the scheme pass to Likely, and it was just like he's the only person getting the ball. He's going to get the ball in his hands, and he'll get like 4 or 5 yards with some yak. I mean, that's easy money, man. Like, why don't we do some of that? Just lower the mental fatigue of the game on Lamar. He doesn't have to be superhero every time. Just like get him some easy reps, give him some rhythm. So I think these scheme plays need to have a comeback, because we didn't see many of them last game.
So Hendo, a lot on Greg Roman in this game is what Alex saying. Get creative, get the ball in some playmakers' hands. Even without Bateman, if you can scheme open a guy like Likely, you can get Duvernay the ball in the right spot. I mean, yak isn't necessarily a specialty of ours, but if you have enough weapons working, you can find a weakness in the defense. You agree with what Alec is saying there about giving Lamar some support, and we need a good game from Greg Roman.
Oh, most definitely. Like he said, we don't get him easy throws. And sometimes it's kind of like in basketball. They see the free throw or they see the ball go through the net. It kind of gives them that confidence. We don't have those. We don't do rubs. Like, it's certain things that we don't do. I don't know if Greg Roman is capable of it, but sometimes he shows us, hey, I am a really good coordinator. Just like last week, you saw some stuff out of him like, okay, that's a little bit different. I got you. But then he goes back into his comfort zone, so to speak, and then we get stagnant. Now, my only concern is Devin Duvernay might quite possibly be our number one receiver. Who else are we going to put in? Now, I know a lot of people want to see Channel 3, Mr. Prochet come in, but when Bateman went out last week, where was Prochet at? Why wasn't he in the game? So what are we going to do about wide receiver 2 and 3 as far as this pass game goes? Mark Andrews is pretty much going to be all on him this game for me.
Garnett, man, anything you want to comment on both Alec and Hendo there?
Yeah, just it's up in the air on obviously Roman's the number 1, 2, just figuring out where Bateman where we have the injury, and then just really just goes from there. I just to back the whole Roman part, how you said it, Jason, you really somewhat killed my point, the whole thing.
Great. I like when I do that.
Yeah, you killed it, man. Outstanding. It's just back with the whole Roman part, man. It's just find ways, like how even AP said, just find ways to make the game easier. So this is a war that we're in. When I mean about war, the season is a war, and obviously the games are battles, right? If I'm asking my general to consistently take on, unnecessary battles week after week after week, are we going to really win that war at the end of the season? We're probably running low on supplies, armor, all that stuff, trying to get into it. But Lamar, don't run them into the ground already by week 4 or 5, man. That's my whole issue with this. Like, we're like how AP said, just let's find ways to make it easier, man. What always gets me is the fact that we see these young quarterbacks like the Jalen Hurts of the world and so on and so forth. They get layups, consistent layups to help them out. But it's like for Lamar, it's a whole different, realm where if it ain't Lamar, it ain't it. You know what I mean? That's another one that bothers me.
Yeah, I have some thoughts on this. I think Greg Roman, I've given him problems, in the past for his adjustments. I've seen it in the comments too. That was why when they asked me, how I felt about Roman, I'm like, well, if we move on, I personally would. It's nothing against his offense. I just think Lamar needs a more sophisticated passing offense. You're always going to have good rushing numbers with Lamar and so on and so forth, and the lack of adjustments that I've seen from Greg Roman in some big games. So here's what gives me hope, though, okay? So I'm going to paint the other side. Roman has shown some adjustments at the goal line, busting out plays. We're seeing like 2 or 3 plays a game where it doesn't matter. You don't need Bateman on the field or a number 1. Roman is scheming open some easy plays. I've been noting them in my notebook. It's just only few a game, but where you can say no player that play wasn't successful because of any outstanding effort from this player. It was an easy throw. It was an easy route. It was an easy catch. Nobody was there. It was just a great call. We're getting more great calls from Roman, especially around the goal line. I'm hopeful that in a game this big, Endo, that a guy who's so secretive and like, I don't want to show him too much. I don't want to show him too much. We'll let it all hang out here a little bit because of the importance of this game. I think he needs to, Hendo.
Listen, he does. And I get what you're saying about every game. He shows you a little bit without Bateman on the field, but we need to see that consistently through a full game. And,
Yes.
once I say to people a lot, defensive coordinators get paid too to make adjustments. And once those defensive coordinators seem to make adjustments, especially in the second half, that's when Roman gets confused and he gets back into his comfort zone. Now, if he can find a way to say, you know what, this game is very important because I think it's very important to our season. If I sit back and I'm going to dial up some plays, I'm going to look and see what they do, their weaknesses, and kind of scheme to that fit. I think maybe we'll have a chance. But if he goes back into his shell, it's going to be a problem.
Alec, build on it. Like, I feel like this is the game for fake punts, fake field goals, petty hardball. Like, this is an important game. You do not want to go 0-3 at home. You do not want to lose to the Bengals. I feel like we'll like whatever is in that vault, we're going to see a lot more of it than we normally do during a normal week. Maybe that's a good way to say it.
I was looking around my desk. I was like, I think I have like a little key and padlock thing. I was looking at like unlocking the vault.
That's what I was looking for.
Yeah, I was like, I feel like there's something nearby here. But yeah, I mean, this is all about the vault. There you go, little pick knife. There you go. Yeah, I mean, what I want to see out of this offense is constant growth, right? We've seen the addition of the shovel pass, and we've seen I think a little bit of growth. I think some of the route comp sets we've been running and getting our players in space has been good from time to time. But we just need to we need to hit on those cylinders the whole time, right? Like you were saying, we can't regress into Greg Roman's oh, I guess give me a motioning Ricard, and then let's just
back power. Yeah, power run. Right.
Sleep.
Yeah. I hear you, man, and I think that's the key. So let's open up the vault. Let's get crazy this game. And I mean, you're totally right. This is the biggest game of the season. I don't even think that's hyperbole. Given where they're at, given these teams will be contenders, we can't go 2-3 against all contenders. It's going to be so painful. We can't lose a game in the division. If we win this game, we're number one in the division, and that's we'll stay there, right? If we lose this game, it's going to be tough to claw back.
Okay, so I'm going to go first on the final thoughts section here, man, because I just want to say I think we've painted a pretty good picture. Man, the comments are lit tonight. People in there debating. I love to see it. So I feel oddly optimistic about this week in the pool that Alex show, where I go into his show and I run his crap, man. I'm in first place. Okay, so I've been picking games like a maniac this year on the man's show, doing it to him dirty, bro, on his own show. I picked the Ravens. And the reason I picked the Ravens is I actually think we match up pretty darn well against them. And why I think that is that I look at Higgins and I look at Chase, and I think we got to answer for them. I look at the way we've covered man on tight ends. I think we've done a much better job. I don't care who we've played. I'm just looking at the technique, the whatnot, the Brandon Stevens, Kyle Hamilton on that bigger target when they're in man-to-man and not blowing things mentally in zone. Man-to-man on a tight end, we've been very good. To me, it's about Tyler Boyd on whoever he's covering. I don't think the Bengals will have great success running the ball. I think this Ravens team is quite frankly pissed off. I saw a pissed off Marlon Humphrey today. I don't think I've ever seen that. I saw a Lamar who wasn't in the mood for any kind of fluff questions today. I see a team that is hurt over what happened last year. I said earlier on Twitter, I don't know if you guys saw it, I see a couple of fights in this game, some skirmishes, maybe offsetting penalties thrown. I genuinely don't think they like each other. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Joe Burrow doing a lot of chapping. chat, man. Don't think that goes unnoticed. I see a chippy game in a home stadium, and I feel like the Ravens are, for week 5, a desperate team. Like, this game means a lot to the Ravens for all the reasons we said. I expect Lamar Jackson to step up big in this game. I don't give score predictions, but my final thought is I'm feeling pretty confident for all these intangible reasons that I feel like some tangible, some intangible, but I feel like this is a game where everybody comes out and focus and we can impose our will on Cincy a little bit. Sergeant, see if you can follow up on that, sir.
So what I'm sensing from you is some Black Air Force One energy.
It is, dude. It's going to be a Black Air Force One jersey night too, bro. Yes, I think that team. I'm emulating what the team is giving me. I feel that energy. Yes.
All right. Okay. I feel you on that, man. I want to be as very confident as you in that, but for me, like, I think we win. I'm hoping we win, but I think we're gonna win. But like for me, I just gotta, I like you said, I don't give score predictions. If we go out there, I remember how we used to always start the show like the first drive. You always ask us and Jake, like, what do you think on that first drive? If we go out there and say DeMarcus Robinson hits a double move, Jackson off a play action or something like that, and we just catch him, man, I will probably hop through, like literally go through I'm watching my language, go through a freaking window. I don't know. I'll probably be hyped. Or maybe we're, just, I don't know, man. I want to see something. Greg, do something for me. This is a game, to be honest with you, this game is not even about the players, to me, in my opinion. This game is about the coordinators. Show us something. Like, Greg, you got all the pieces that you wanted in this draft. McDonough, you inherited and then redrafted a couple pieces as well, and then free agents. You inherited one that should be the top secondary in the NFL. I understand we're lacking a couple pass rush, but at the same time, I'm going to hold you to the standard to get these guys in the best position to be successful in the trenches, because you got some talent down there, in my opinion, but you got some talent over the top. So this is, hey, when the second half comes around and we're probably winning, or hopefully we're winning by at least 10 points, I want to see adjustment made on both sides of the ball by the coordinators. That's all I ask for. Because literally, if we should have did a quarterly assessment what we think about the coaching staff. But I think we all have a mutual understanding of how we feel. But that's where I'm at. It's really on the coaching. I just want to see adjustments, because like that goes a long way down the road where players are going to buy into what we're trying to ask them to do. That's all.
All right, Alec. Got some too passionate speeches. Now you are in 1000K. So let's hear you sound just as good as you look here. Dare I say, you're as good looking as Ashley right now on that camera.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Your final thoughts.
Hey, Alec, I'll take you out on a date, bro. I got you.
I'm waiting for Yuri to take me out on a date. Nah, I think it's funny that Jason is talking about how he's run the show on our show with the bets, but I came on his show last year and swept him under the table. But he didn't bring that part up.
Let him know, Alec. Let him know.
Interesting. That's all good, man. If we have to go blow for blow, right?
That's right. No, he's right. He beat me fair and square last year. Both of us, by the way, had winning records, much better than Florio and Sims. So both of us did well. But Alec was, if he would have actually bet on every game like he said he would be rich right now.
So that's why that's why he changed the pie to one winning pie.
Yeah, he's a winner, bro. All right, Alec, what are you thinking about Sunday, though, man?
These guys have our number in a respect. We're not going to be able to win with the amount of gusto I'd like. I think the 3-point line's a good line. If you could bet on the push, I don't think it's a bad idea. I think the Ravens do win. I think they win by 3. We get that field goal everyone's lusting for. And yeah, I'm thinking, like I said, my score prediction was 27-24, right? And that's right in that window we were talking about, how many points they score. I think it's going to be a close game. It's going to be an annoying game. We ain't going to have any fun. We're going to be, just nervous the whole time. But we come out victorious. Will feel real nice.
There you go. So, Hendo, thank you so much, bro, for coming on.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it, bro. Brought the fire as usual. Your final thoughts, man. Usually we just talk about you can talk about the game Sunday or whatever you're thinking of, but if you want to focus on the game like the rest of us, that'd be great too, man.
Yes, sir. So, like with Garnett, the Ravens win, but my confidence in it is not very high. Like I believe that we can win, we should win. Listen, we can't lose another home game. What have we lost? 5 straight at home?
Something crazy, bro. I want to say 7. Yeah.
7? Even worse. We can't make it 8. But the thing for me is like Garnett said, the coordinators, how they kind of adjust to the game. I think offensively, we need to find some ways to get the players involved if we have missing pieces. Defensively, listen, the secondary, I was a little skeptical about Williams coming in, paying him all that money, but he's earned it. He's earned every penny. Marlowe's back. He's been slumping since he signed a big contract, but he's back. Also, he's one of the most thrown against corners on our team, but I think that they can hold up. The biggest issue for me is that pass rush. We cannot allow Joe Burrow all day to stand back there because no matter how good you are, we could have Deion Sanders and Darrelle Revis out there. If they have to stand out there and cover for 10 seconds, it's not going to happen. So if we can somehow generate a pass rush, if we can somehow scheme to get Owe involved, I think that will kind of boost the team up some because he's taken a lot of heat, and rightfully so. One of those first-round projects, just like Patrick Queen. I need Patrick Queen to kind of slow down and not go 100 miles an hour every play. I need him to diagnose it. So if we can make the adjustments and present that pass rush or just pressure him getting his face enough, I think that kind of will help us win. But if we give him all day, it's going to be a long night.
Well said, Hendo. Well said. Great points by everybody tonight. Went a little long, man. I thank you guys for hanging in. The people who come through on this live show, everybody I bring their comments up, and the people who are watching on the replay. I really appreciate it because I saw last year and I see it on other channels too. When the Ravens lose, the views go down. You lose some of the really enthusiastic fans. Nobody wants to watch Sports Center the day after you lose. You know what I mean? I get it. So all y'all real ones coming in today talking about this game because, we can be upset about last week all we want. Ravens are still in an okay spot, a fine spot, not a great spot, not a terrible spot. This game Sunday means a lot. Ravens need to come to play with that Black Air Force One energy. Thank you, Sergeant Garnett, for allowing me to use that in my vocabulary on this show. I feel like it's a good fit for me, sir.
Hey, it does. It is a damn good fit. Also, I want to say this too. We can't lose with Nelly in the damn building. It's gonna be hot in there, man.
Hey.
Yeah,
That's what I said, man. I said before I thought it was a 3-point. Now that Nelly's in, it might be 4.
Gotta take off all my clothes, right? That's the next line, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that the line? That's the line, right? It's getting
Yes.
hot in here. So
You want to take off your clothes right now?
Oh, yeah, man. No. I like staying clothed. Believe it or not, I don't have the best looking physique. Is how I'm going to say it. And I'm going to keep it clean. I do have some comebacks, but I'm going to just keep it clean. I'm going to say thank you to our football family. Love our football family. Thank you to Hendo. Thank you to everybody in here. And with that, please say good night to the people. Check out Hendo's channel. Say good night, everybody.
See y'all.
All right.
Night, guys.